Hello YouTube subscribers out there. So welcome to my 10-year anniversary video brought to you by myself as Whichwasher. My first name's actually Matt, and as a lot of you will know that if you've been subscribed as long as I've been on as a channel, you will know quite a bit of information already about maybe myself and what machines I've already had in the past. In the past, I have already done a sort of a previous video of all the machines I have owned over the years, and at the time I'd owned about, I say 6, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you and introduce where my washing machine life has started out at as a kid, to the ones where I've part purchased or I've fully purchased myself. Right, I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone who watches me daily. I upload videos daily. I grant that a lot of people will not watch my videos for the full length of the cycle or the full length of the whole video. And a lot of you are probably just trying to find information about washing machines or something like that. Maybe not all washing machines are to your taste, and you probably only subscribe to me for certain brands, but don't worry, I try to cover all kinds of brands. I'm not a brand snob, and I'm not an age snob either. I like pretty much all kinds of machines, whether it's from the mundane and basic, I like basic machines which are pretty simple, to the wacky designs really, such as my own Electrolux Insight, which really is a design feat really from Electrolux and very unique. Right, so as many of you know, I started off this channel on the 2nd of November 2007, and what I found interesting today, and today is going to be the 12th of the 12th 2017, hopefully you'll get this by tomorrow the 13th, once it's fully edited and saved, is I found a site known as socialblade.com, which has YouTube statistics of any YouTube accounts out there, which I think you can probably authorise and register for that account, which I haven't, but even so you end up finding information about YouTube channels, or basically if you search one up on Google, it will bring up Social Blade hopefully, and then it will tell you like how many video views, total, subscription total, and it even gives predictions out of like subscription predictions and views predictions as well. So according to Social Blade, if I carried on now, I would have 10,000 subscribers by 2019 on the 10th of March. And according to this, viewership milestones, I'd have around 30 million views as of 4th of November 2020, which of course is actually only 3 years away. But that's double the views. I hope it may even get more views, may get more subscribers than that's predicted. I've noticed a massive gain this year of both views and subscribers. Thank you to all of us who have subscribed to me. And thank you all who've maybe even watched my videos, searched them up and liked me. If you don't like me, fair enough, and still watch me anyway, because I'm awesome. So I have to thank you all, and thank you for watching me for the last 10 years, or even if you're brand new, and if today you watched this video and you subscribed, thank you very much. I hope you're going to enjoy the next forever how long. Hopefully by 10,000 subscribers I'll probably do something else special as well. My actual plan of the 10-year anniversary is still a project, and it's not even been touched yet. But I'll get onto that more later. So what I'm going to do is go through all the machines I've owned in the last 10 years. That means all the ones I bought and own. So these are all the machines I've ever bought and ever owned. So, and weather-wise, for the last 2 years, it's obviously rocketed off. But anyway, we'll start off with this. So this, thank you for the image is from automaticwasher.org. Great site. I've borrowed your image. That's credit to you. Go and subscribe to them. Go and sign up to them if you haven't already. You can also lend them a beer. Go and give them a beer. Their site's awesome. I don't actually have time for their site, unfortunately, but their site I have been on in the past and it's incredible. For all the vintage machines around the world, go and give the creators a bit if you can, and just be part of it. Be happy, part of the community. Anyway, so we've got a Hotpoint 9920 washer dryer. 800 spin, which was my mum and dad's very first automatic washer dryer. In fact, they had a twin tub beforehand, very briefly. They were in a small cottage with a kitchen so small that they only had a twin tub. As soon as they got their 3-bed semi-detached house, they ended up buying this, and it lasted 11 years. The pump wouldn't work anymore. It was like dying. It wouldn't really fire up. If anyone knows about these 95 and 99 series hot points, is that the when it kicks on to spin, the door would lock and the door lock would buzz, and the pump would sometimes struggle to start. Anyway, eventually it would never start, so it got a tip really. But it wasn't just the pump, because obviously if it was just the pump it might have got fixed, but there was a lot of problems too, which the bearings were starting to go as well, and just basically aged, to be honest. They probably just fancied a new one, which they did, and then bought a replacement Hotpoint WD-61. This image is courtesy of Gumtree. A lot of my pictures that you're going to see are mostly courtesy of Gumtree or of YouTube, or they're of my own. I will probably sell that to you as we go along. The WD-61 1100 spin washer dryer was bought in 1999 and lasted for just 3 years. It kept tripping the fuse for a good couple, for about 12 months. He did it 4 times in one day once. And eventually we got the engineer out to come and look, and it just all smouldered inside, the whole of the wires everywhere. It wasn't just one set, it was everywhere. And so that was deemed dangerous, and therefore we had to replace it. In 2002 we had a Hotpoint WD-64 Aquarius Extra, which is the successor to the WD-62. And at the time, the WD-63 was the successor to the WD-61. Changes was they had an A wash rating and a C energy rating, thanks to its combined A wash energy and sort of like D energy for the drying and stuff like that. That broke after 2 years. The suspension went out on it. That was replaced and fixed, and then 4 years in, started making a grinding noise on the dryer. It had broke one of the blades, and the condenser unit had come loose and broke one of the blades. So we tightened it up and managed to get it going again. That lasted for another month or so, and then it got worse. On spin it would make this rackety noise, and it was just, when we came to it and tried to fix it on, it wouldn't fix back on anymore. I think it shredded the bolts basically in all the holes, so it wouldn't go back on because of the plastic tub. There's another image there. Right, so by this point we'd moved house into a 3-bed house with a garage, and so we took this opportunity now to have a separate washing machine and a separate tumble dryer. But at the time, unfortunately, my parents didn't have that much money. So what I did was, I was only 15. I used my own pocket money that I'd saved up and bought half the washer and half the dryer, basically. It was either going to be this or a Beko, so Beko like WMA 510 would have been at the time, so no. Anyway, the funny thing about this Ultima is that when we went to our shop, which we had bought the last 3 hot points from, it was an independent shop in Macclesfield, where I live, which some of you might know, and they had a WF740 a WT740 at the time, and a missing space. There was a space above for another machine, and there was nothing there. So I had a look, and a couple of days later we went back after looking at curries and comets and stuff like that, and then this WT960 had turned up. So for an extra 20 quid at the time, and bearing in mind at the time this was only £330 compared to Curry's £449 and Argos's £499. Yeah, staggering. So we bought that. But we also needed a dryer, and we were still hard up. So what we did, we had a look online on eBay, and we were planning to get a used dryer, possibly, with some different ones, including a silver White Knight CL847. Which was immaculate at the time, absolutely immaculate. It had a chrome dial on it for choosing the dryness setting, but also we had a brand new damage return hot point, the VTD00, but from a private seller. Yeah. Anyway, he sold it. We bought it for a final bid of £106. And I was down from £160, £170 of like curries and Argos at the time. And this dryer was really dried well, but just noisy in general. It's not necessarily a refined dryer. And the handle broke after about 18 months. Then the bearing finally just went after 3 years, and I knew at the time that Hotpoint had made also a minor recall for these. They were debating whether to recall these at the time because of that bearing. It was rarely passing 12 months, and they thought it would affect their credibility. Right, so the Hotpoint Ultima, my auntie had, and I bought this brand new £500 Samsung WF8804 RPA. Now, that was a good washer actually. It's just that I finished filming everything and I didn't know what to do. And talking of the dryers, because the VGD00 broke, I bought this Hotpoint TVF760 aluminium. It was a new damage return thing. It had a bit of a scratch, I think, on the door. So that was marked down slightly, again from the company. And that's still going as of today. Yeah, really is. That's still going. It's still tumble drying. I don't know whether it's been updated. I'm not too concerned because my auntie does actually clean the filter and it's hardly used, basically, really. And it's not even in a confined space. It's a bit like this actually. It's in the kitchen. It's not even under the counter or anything. So, she only uses the washers there anyway as well. There's that. I think it probably will be updated, or has been updated, or is due going to be updated, because after her own daughters went up, it's going to need to be updated, to be honest, and looked at. Right, the TVS 760, we gave to me, sold that to my auntie. I gave the oldest to my auntie, but sold that to my auntie because the White Knight that I fixed, I would say it's fixed, I bought one that was broken and you had one in the shed and they didn't know whether it worked. It had been sat there so long. It worked, but it was just noisy, and that was basically stopped working after about 2 years. That was alright for a techno, wasn't it? Anyway, because we moved house again now, I decided that it was not really very efficient to vent a tumble dryer through the back door. As you can see in the previous photo, you can actually see it. So I purchased a John Lewis JL TDH15 heat pump tumble dryer. That was a damage return. It had 2 little marks on the front, and to be honest, the side of the dryer, if you pushed it, it would knock, and you had to rotate the drum the other way to sort of try and knock itself back out. It kept giving error codes every now and then, different ones all the time, and it was just simply a case of turning the machine off, unplugging it, plug it back in, and then it'd be working again. This photo is courtesy of this photo is off Gumtree, just to let you know. Eventually, after 5 years, I moved out, but I carried on using it for a further 2 years, 5 years of use, and this is what happened. This resistor has literally blown off the board. That's the motor board, and it blew, and the motor board was just horrendous price to replace, so just gave up on it and just stripped it down. But more on that on later. It didn't go to waste either. Anyway, so I was getting bored of the Samsung, and I went online and bought this. You can see a trend happening now, right? It's another damage return. Bosch WAS 32461 GB. Right, and I bought it for 400 quid, and it had it delivered. Same with that John Lewis as well. It was from the same company. And when they delivered the John Lewis, they waived the delivery charge because I already had this off them. I bought the John Lewis about a month later. Anyway, the Bosch was good, excellent actually. But I've had one. I'm gonna get into it a bit more later. It's a bit of a surprise. This was good, excellent, and filmed it all, and it's all there on YouTube. But I ran out of things to film, and this is the thing, when it came to filming and I only had space for one machine, I was looking at my parents, there was no other way around it, and so I decided, instead of buying something brand new, what about buying something used, let alone something brand new, so damaged, buy something used. I had a look online, and about 25 miles away was my Siemens Series IQ. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's ever been repaired. Well, not only that, it doesn't need repairing as such. As of today, guess what? I still have it, and it's still part of my collection, and I plan on keeping it. It's an excellent machine, very fast at washing, it's got an aqua sensor that does work sort of, but occasionally, this basically just errors codes on that. You don't see the error code though, as the user. I have to go into diagnostics and it will tell me that it's come up 6 times. Other than that, that's the only error code it's ever had, which is excellent. The weight sensor on it is fantastic, so that's still with me, and I haven't sold it yet. I don't really plan on ever selling it. So, the Zanussi ZWF 1437, I bought this used, after successfully having the Siemens used. I moved out with my parents and with my girlfriend, and I purposely found a house with a garage. But what's more special about this is that there was plumbing in the garage. Excellent. And we're only in a 2-bed. So rent wasn't sky high, but rent's not really cheap in Mark, but it's affordable. So I had this, I ran it as my daily driver. and then briefly alongside a WM6103, which was my landlady's washing machine, where we were in, and then that quickly got taken out because I had bought this Hoover OPH714D. This must have been sort of like mid-repair because the pump's actually missing on this. I'm not quite sure if it's the same one originally. Looks like the door glass isn't cracked on this. This machine was one of the very first machines I bought off eBay to repair, and looking back now, I paid an absolute, a lot of money considering how broken it was. And it was that broken, it was like considering I could scrap it. So I thought, why don't I just get another one and then that has a board that's working, then put that on there. But we'll get on to that later on. Anyway, we needed a dryer, and I did exactly the same. I went onto eBay and found this White Knight A-Class vented tumble dryer CL847. After having it, it's noisy, but not intrusive as such. But it dried impeccably well. It sensed impeccably well. There was a natural difference between every single setting. Not that you need to straight past setting 2 anyway. And I bought it for about 27 quid at a time or something like that. But I had to go and collect it anyway and drive. And it was from a so-called company called Dryers R Us, which are still there today on eBay. They sell their machines, you put it on bid, and whatever it sells for, it sells for. They're apparently refurbished, and apparently they have a 1 month warranty. But there was no paperwork for the warranty, and the guy just you get the idea. Anyway, it did work past that 1 month, and it worked for 2 months. And the capacitor went, but I replaced the capacitor and carried on drying. But this was soon to be replaced. So this Hoover H&L 6166, the image is actually an actual still from my own YouTube video, and that's the actual machine. It was the very first video for the Hoover Extra H&L 6166 video series, and I went on Google Images and it was just there, so I borrowed it because I don't actually have an image of it. Broken bearings, it had gone through the heater, so it was shorting out. The plastics all yellowed, the softener grate was missing, so I just scrapped it down. It was pointless repairing it because I wasn't going to get it much, so if I sold it. Then we got this Beko WMP 511, which was from where I actually work as my daily job. And for some reason it was giving a heater error code. It just stopped mid-cycle and I pressed start and then it just wouldn't heat past 90. Basically it was on 90, it wouldn't heat. It just keep getting an error code. Don't know exactly what it was. And then my auntie got it because, not in a minute really. So basically the WT960 is still with me and I still have it. It's my auntie had this WMP off me and I had the WT960 back. It still exists and there is a video of the last cycle I've done in it, but it's not in bit, it's not for parts. This was the reason why I kind of had been delayed with doing this 10-year anniversary, deciding what to do, because it was originally to turn the WT960 into a fully working machine again. Unfortunately, I never got around to doing it, and it needs a hell of a lot of parts to it to make it work. Anyway, so this is a new TC484 I bought as a broken dryer, shorting out. But I quickly fixed that because all that happened was the new C had their own capacitors, and Zanussi had cheapskates as well for some reason decided to hang this up, capacitor up to one side, rather than just have. It doesn't have a bolt basically, and the cable tie that had kept it to one side had snapped, and all it was rubbing against the drum as it went round. Obviously, you must have created a static build-up, and it was just shorting out basically, and that was causing it to chip the RCD at the time. And that was 6 really, and then it was ready to go again, and I sold that on. We also have this Hoover WMH148 I bought from Derby, so it was a long drive, for a cheap price, and it was sold as not working, but they hadn't plugged it in for 5 years. And it was only 6 years old. Yeah, it only had 1 year of use. Got it back, it was in immaculate condition, the seal was fine, plugged it in, it was fine, it was working, sold that on as well. Right, this White Knight CL411, fully working, the videos are on YouTube. Sold that on, just don't know why it was chucked out. Then we had a WT960P. This one, I sold that Hoover and got this back. And what was wrong with it was the dub. That was it. Yeah, really, that was it. And it stank to high heavens. And I gave her some good advice when it came to washing. She washed at 30 degrees and with liquid detergent. The seal was mouldy as anything. It had the door replaced, the seal replaced, and the door retaining band had rotted away basically. We rattled when we took it off, so that had to be bought. Other than that, it worked pretty much well. Also, the writing had rubbed off on the screen, which is quite a common problem with these WT960s. And so I basically bought a white marker pen and wrote them back on again. So as you can see, my scruffy writing, what each option was. Sold that on and got this Pro Action back. Okay, so maybe I should go on less about this, because otherwise it's just going to go on for ages and ages and ages. So from now we're just going to go through all the models I've had. So I got back this Pro Action A105Q. That got sold on. Right, I got given this Hotpoint FDW70 Aquarius Plus dishwasher for free, because it'd been unplumbed and been sat in the garage for 2.5 years. New capacitor and was fully working. It just didn't wash well. Right, this is what's important. I actually bought this Electrolux Electrolux EWN 14991, and somehow got the board to reset basically, so it cost me nothing really to fix, and I was happy with that, and I bought the Electrolux EDI 96150, fully working, except of course it just groans really and it just winds away. But it's fully working, and I've not done anything to it, and 2 years on, and to be honest, it is been hammered because it does about 10 to 12 loads a week. If I'm not testing any of the dryers, that's what happens, and we'll easily do 12 loads a week. 2 years on, I've touched wood, I have not had any problem at all, and I actually love the dryer. Great, excellent results. Steam function really works as well. Right, so that's my daily set. Also in this you can see a Bosch WTL 5500 condenser dryer. I bought this on purpose. It was fully working, it did fully work, I haven't done anything to it, and basically I bought it so whilst I was repairing the Electrolux with a new drum and some new fan blades, replacement drum shall I say, and some new fan blades, I would have a spare condenser dryer. Unfortunately I never got around to doing that, but it was handy all of a sudden having 2 dryers to do the load. So that's what happened. For 6 months this dryer ran with my Electrolux with the split loads, doing 2 loads at night, usually, and then 2 loads would go up in the morning. Right, so the Hoover Optima OPH 714D, which you see underneath, I bought, and I finally repaired. I bought another OPH 714D, and basically nearly everything you see on that machine was from the second machine. The first machine you saw on YouTube had the error code and the broken door glass. What happened with the second machine was it was given a error 08 code, which basically was the motor. But not knowing this at the time, anyway, didn't know what to do. It was really rusty, and this only had a tiny patch of rust. Not knowing what to do, put both at one side. When I came to finally decide that I should repair the very first OPH 714D, I found something out. The drum bearings had gone on the second one. So it must have been that the oil seal must have just deteriorated, and it was fine up until we stopped, and a lot of oil must have just fallen out of it. Anyway, back onto this. There you go, there's the second one. This Hotpoint WMYL 8352. The drum had a nick in it which made it sharp and basically wrote off the whole machine. I've also got this Zanussi ZWF14380 and matching tumble dryer Zanussi ZDC 37100W. I've also got a Hotpoint WD420p, and that was scrapped down. Just didn't fire up at all, didn't work. A Beko WM5101, which was then sold on. A Beko WMA 510W, which was sold on, and I got that Hotpoint WMYL back. This Indesit IS31 compact tumble dryer was sold on. This Hoover DYNS654D is now fully working. I've not sold it on, and to be honest, not finished filming it either. You'll see videos of that in the future. This Hotpoint WD51 I bought was untested, but the programmer has definitely gone on this. It's still in bits at the minute. This Hoover HNL6166 used the pump and door from the first Hoover HNL6166 that I scrapped down and was sold on. The Hoover DYNS71441XD. The first one I bought had a hole in the tub, so I scrapped that down. The second machine that I bought, I fixed up and sold on. This Hotpoint WD63 came off the street. The door had been smashed off, and I'm pretty sure the plug was cut off or something as well. I didn't bother testing it, I just scrapped it down. Some of the parts have gone on a WM65, but more on that later. As Beko WM6120 was repaired and sold on. This Logic L712 WM16 had broken bearings and was actually sold on. This Indesit IWC6165 was fixed up and sold on, which in turn gave me this Beko WMA 520S, which was fixed up and also sold on. This Maytag NWA 10149 I bought with an error code. The guy didn't know what error code it was, just that it would come up with service and just error code, you know. And I bought it, the heater was replaced and worked perfectly fine. I descaled it, and then my mum decided to actually have it off me because the Siemens was kind of running off on the spin. The Siemens suspension isn't excellent, but it is workable with. Subsequently, the Siemens I've had back actually, there are more videos of that to come in the future, but when I only get around to actually editing them. I have a lot to edit still. So my mum had that. The Hotpoint FDW 70 was just giving me dirty dishes. I had this like gritty salt coming out of it. Anyway, so that got sold on spares. I couldn't be bothered to actually fix it. And then I bought this Miele G641, and the WPS hose had been cut off. Didn't realise that until I got back home. I bought it as fully working and subsequently tried to. Well, the hose cost £150 to replace. Yeah, it wasn't happening. So I decided to get my credit card and buy this damaged return Siemens SN260M280GB-04, which was a damage return. It's got a slight dent on. It's got a dent on the front, which you can't actually see when you look straight on. It doesn't really matter because we've got a child, and where the dishwasher is located is right by the front door. When we're getting in the buggy, it keeps on hitting it anyway, so it don't really matter. But because I got a discounted price, it meant we only paid about $269 for it, brand new, and that's got with the 2-year warranty. This White Knight CL372 WV came off the street, and the fan had actually snapped off, but trying to get the old fan blade off, I just gave up on it in the end and decided to take it down for spares. Oh wait, the Pro Action that I sold earlier gave me back this Electra ELEC 1647A3. There are videos of this on YouTube. Initially I thought the brushes had burnt, had worn out, but after putting some new ones on, they didn't last long, and when I felt the commutator, one of the pieces of the conductor had gone, so basically it was chipping away at the brushes, and basically it wore out after basically 13 cycles. I filmed 6 or 7 of them, and then I did the other half's uniform for a couple of cycles that were unfilmed, and it just basically, as you can see, go back on my YouTube videos, you'll find that it basically ate the brushes and just came to a grinding halt really. Right, the motor I couldn't find. I searched for 6 months before giving up. There was no replacement motor. It was a common Nidec one, but the pin setup was all, didn't have the right pin setup basically. And all the ones were mostly for Zanussi, which they have capped off. And then, even more surprisingly, when I took it bits, because that's what I do, I took the top concrete weight off, and there was a hole right directly at the top, underneath the concrete block, out of sight. Right, I bought this Candy CI60V tumble dryer, vented dryer, not for much money, and after getting it back and testing it, it was, the bearings on the motor were very, very stiff, and it was all one unit. Even the used version of the motor, one seller I found online was asking a lot of money for it. I didn't even have a make offer or anything on it. I did message them privately for a slightly less money, and it wasn't that much less, and they never replied back. They never replied back at all. I had a door off him since for his Zanussi, but what I did, it said complete with hinges, but it didn't say it was complete with the filter. The filter was actually missing. Right, this Hotpoint TCM570 Graphite G was a street find and was later scrapped down. For some reason, it had been dragged on its top, and the whole machine was upside down. And it was just plain cold, so basically it would have required a new heater. Not only that, it was the recall model, and I couldn't be bothered fixing it. It was basically too damaged. It was quite damaged and quite unsightly. Again, like all these images that aren't mine, these are usually off Gumtree. Right, this Treader WF220VW WV, sorry, this Creeder WF220WV, the washing machine, was from the stables. I'd sold it with a OPH 7114 eventually, and I'd actually had it for 2 years, believe it or not, this OPH, and it'd been running fine. Not the best looking machine. The flap wouldn't go back in for some reason, wouldn't stay up. The springer decided to ping off again, couldn't be bothered. And it went to stables, which was outside, and I got this back. The door apparently had come off, and after looking at the hinge, basically the hinge had actually snapped off. The hinge made metal and decided to just like stay inside the actual door. Whether it had been basically something that had been hitting it, but saying that all that was ever washed in it was the rider's riding gear, never horse blankets or anything like that. And it had been looked after throughout the time. As you can see, I've wrote on this scrap, which was eventually what happened. It went for scrap because I used a donor door, and I had to use a donor motor just to check that it was still heating and the time went on and stuff like that for functionality. So the donor door came off Jacob's WM75P, and I used a donor motor from that WD63, which you probably might remember from earlier on in the video. That got tested on. So basically I didn't know that motor worked from the WD63P, but it did. It was fully working. The motor on this is actually burnt out. So adding that all up, you need a new motor, new door, replacement motor. It was heavily scratched and it needed basically completely cleaning out because there was actually horseflies inside the detergent jar. Yeah, it was horrific. But also that it's Creeder rather than a hot point, because the hot point itself may have looked into fixing it. But I decided to use the parts of that to save the machines really. And that's what I plan on doing. Sometimes gun machine. Oh, it also needed an on-off button on this as well. That would also snapped off. It's basically too much money and too many parts for me to warrant fixing it. Anyway, back when I first moved in, I decided to try and fix up heat pump tumble dryers, and I still haven't. This AGT76485 is still not fixed. There's videos of it as well, which I will bring to you possibly later on next year. And the overall thing was it didn't heat at all. So it could be likely to be bored. We also had this Beko DRS 8360 with a slash through the door. Again, these are stock photos of different sites. So, but getting that going, that was also a new return. Just didn't work. It heated, but it was only working off the little heater that it has to heat initially. The heat pump itself, though, wasn't producing any heat at all. And then, whilst on extra dry, it was just cutting down prematurely. And it would be too wet still. And oddly enough, it would cut out for like 2 hours, not 3 or 4 or 5, just 2 hours. Right, this Bush A126Q I got back after selling the WM6120. The trouble with this was it was just had a fault, so I just could not work out what it was at all. These Vestal machines are very unusual, basically. The door lock was locking straight away as soon as you plugged it in, and it was creating this burning smell with the replacement board. Basically it was trying to burn out the same part of the board as the previous board, and I wasn't letting it go to do that. So after testing the door lock, the pressure switch, chamber, the pressure switch itself, the stuff like that, I just gave up on it. It's likely it could be something ridiculous like the heater or something. I could have tested that. The motor worked fine, so I still have a spare motor, basically. Anyway, all was not lost, because obviously the tub was still fully working. The bearings are still fine. So, this Panasonic NA127 VB6. I used the back half of the tub to actually fix this. And what's more impressive is that this 7 kilo had a wider shaft but narrower bearings. And it's no wonder they went after about 2 years, because that's all it is. And of course Panasonic give you a 5-year warranty, so the guy who had this written off by Panasonic and his money back, and he got a Samsung as a replacement. And so he sold this on, and I bought it. But he did say brushes in the eBay listing, and subsequently it was actually bearings that were completely disintegrated. Now, because I fitted the bush back rather than the bearings and shaft, the shaft had to be replaced because that had also been worn away. But because I fitted the bush shaft and therefore subsequently needed the bush bearings back tub half, which fits subsequently, it now has actually bearings that are probably more suitable for the 7 kilo. So hopefully it will work a lot longer. Anyway, I like this machine a lot and I still got it. The seal still needs cleaning on it, so that would be removed so it's put back on. And the pump through a circulation jet just needs looking at, whether it needs replacing. I have a spare pump for it. You'll see that in action later on this year when I've looked at it. Anyway, this WMA 58P has come to me twice. So I bought it initially for Sophie's friend for the replacement of that and extra. I bought it for a bargain of like 30 quid. I just basically tested it, filmed it for you, you watched all that, and I gave it to her. And then 9 months later it came back to me. I only tested basically for just basic functionality, not extensive testing, which I would have actually like the suspension. It was too bouncy for me, so I should have replaced the shocks. Anyway, I didn't. Subsequently, there was no absorbency left in the shocks, and basically it pulled the drum far too much down and broke the spring and made it run off and stuff like that. And it ended up with 40 quid's worth of parts putting on it before being resold. I didn't get anything returned, I didn't get any machine. Right. I also had a Bosch A126Q. It was a co-worker when I worked in the normal place who found it for me, and after emptying the filter and putting a new plug on because it had been chopped off and it was from a rented property, that was it, and it got sold back on. I ended up with a WMA 50, which is later on in the slideshow. I also sold this on, this Hotpoint HVL 211. I fixed up and sold on this LG TDC 70040E, which are all videos of this already, just like the Hotpoint is as well. I fixed up and sold on this Proline TDV60. This was from a neighbour, a rental, and after having basically nightmare tenants from hell, they just gave me this washer really, because of how dirty their previous tenants were. I subsequently haven't replaced with anything, but this FL 1383 it's great, but it's not a jet system. Or if it was a jet system, I would have actually had it myself. It's not a jet system, so I filmed it and sold it on. So these three here, the Bosch WFK2473 GB dash, let me just find it, I'm not written it down, as was refurbished and sold on. The Bendix BWI 145W was refurbished and sold on, and the Hoover Nextra HNWL 7146 washer dryer trips electricity It's currently not fixed, and I'm waiting for a replacement part for it. It will do a whole wash cycle, but as soon as you got to dry, it will trip out. This Indesit WI-101 was refurbished. Oddly enough, and it's word of the wise, when you buy a used machine, it can be sold in good working order, but this still had a stretch belt, so that was replaced. And it was quite rusty as well. And oddly enough, I've ended up with a much older Indesit, and there was a good reason why the guy bought this. The guy rents very cheaply off his brother for this house that his brother can't sell, and things weren't doing to it. And the washing machine was in a handmade, basically what was a shed side awning thing on the side of the house. And rotted through their old Indesit washer dryer that they had. So he just bought this because this has already had rust on it, and I said, yeah, eventually this was nothing compared to what's got in the car. You're not going to see that model because it's still in the car and I've still not got it out, and I've not counted it in this as of today. Right, so we've got a Hotpoint WMD 942. The bearings have slightly started to turn, but not completely noisy. I don't plan on selling it on, and I've got plans for it. Right, and next to it is a Bosch N146 C82, or basically what was then later known as a Bosch A146Q. 1400 spin 6 kilo version of the 1200 spin 6 kilo version that I've also had. That's actually currently up for sale. These two here have been both fixed up and refurbished and, well, basically cleaned up and are up for sale. The Hotpoint WMUD 962 and a Indesit IWE 81481 Eco. It's known as the Eco because there was two model numbers. Sorry, it's the same model number, but with two different programs. Yeah. The Eco is more important because it's actually the update version. So I've also Indesit IWDE 7145, and that's now already for sale as well. This Smeg full-size dishwasher, there was no model for it at all. Couldn't find it anywhere, in any place whatsoever. Right, we've also got a Zanussi ZWF1632, which is now fixed and refurbished and now up for sale. I've also bought 5 brand new damage returns just as a test to see how well they might sell. 4 are going to get sold on, 1's going to get scrapped down subsequently. But they're all the same model number, White Knight, brand new, latest model number, C38 AW. AW means anti-clockwise, believe it or not. So I've also replaced the door trim on this, and basically cleaned it up. This White Knight CL312WV. Anyway, there's a bunch still left that are broken. So we've got a Hotpoint WF541G, a Hotpoint WD420G, a Hotpoint WMA50G, a Hotpoint WF541P with broken bearings, which is going to get scrapped down, a Zanussi ZWF1437, which is spiking on the wash, the typical E52 error. This Zanussi ZDE47-100 sensor vent and dryer, which is got an error code E62. This Bosch A147 CR6B is going to get scrapped down because of bearings, and that in fact is from the jet washer as well. And this Bosch I can't really get working. This is from Jacob, and Jacob, this doesn't work with that board that you've also given me. The Bosch WT48410 GB-05. The 05 is very important. Anyway, we've also got this Whirlpool AWZ 7303, which fully works, apart from the fact that the roller bearings on the front are rumbly, so I'm going to change them. We also have a Hoover VTS 715D21X Sunline 7 kilo 1500 spin washing machine, but it's got a hole in the back and basically the belt stretch, and apparently that's caused it to have a hole. This HW 50-1002 was a result of selling that Zanussi FL. Yeah. This is a few years old. The Zanussi's nearly 20 years old. Going to. So I've got this back. The motor's burnt out, I'm pretty sure, but not 100% sure. I haven't done full testing on it yet. This Bosch, apart from the obvious, it's rusting a little bit at the bottom, so I'm not sure what to do with it. It does fully work though, but fascias are too much second hand. So it's likely it's going to get scrapped down. This Bosch SGS 45E02GB. This Bosch WAA 286680. Can't read my own writing now. Is got a board issue, I think. I'm not so sure. It needs fully. I haven't really looked into it yet. This is my own AEG L86810, but I also got another AEG L86810, and the trouble is it got sold with a motherboard issue. It had a E65 issue which managed to actually reset and then test again, and got an E59 motorboard issue. And then whilst looking at it, anyway, the door trim, the door hinge part of the trim has cracked, snapped off completely, and then when I took the top off and obviously looked at the board, there's a hole directly in front of the jet on the seal, so that needs replacing. And then on closer inspection, after I plugged it in, the actual cable needs replacing because it looks like something's been eating at it. It's likely it's going to go for scrap, or get scrapped down for parts, what I can. And it's a bit of a shame, but oh well. Right, so these following machines, I don't know if they even work, but they should be fully working, or they are fully working and they're not ready for sale yet, or anything like that. So I've got a Mika ZWM 616W dishwasher, full-size dishwasher. They should fully work. This Hotpoint WML 540G, it's waiting for the door seal to pop back on, but it fully works. This Bosch WAS 32461GB, this is the second one, basically. This is not my own, and it came from auction, but I knew exactly what I was buying into. The guy, it had been sold the previous week, and I missed out, to be honest, on bidding it. It went for quite cheap. The guy had bought it, and it must have been, the cable must have got trapped somewhere, and the whole machine's been pulled while this cable's been trapped, and basically the spades from the inside had pulled away from the suppressor and were actually connected with each other. So subsequently, when you went to plug it in, the electrics all tripped. Anyway. I've also got this Cruise Essentials C510WM13, which is fully working, it just needs refurbishing. And then I've got this. Yes! I've got myself a Samsung EcoBubble with a direct inverter on it. Yeah, 450 quid worth of washing machine there. The EcoBubble, in my opinion, actually works. It does work. And it's not a complete fad. It's an excellent machine actually, which I'm also going to film. I'm going to film a fair bit of it and then sell it back on again. And finally, of the modern machines, the Zanussi ZKN 7147 washer dryer, and then we're going to go straight into a they've got a few gems hidden away which nobody knows about or they few know about, and they are going to come up. These machines are more than 20 years old, and these machines will subsequently just be kept within our community, guys. So, I have a Zanussi WDJ SA1015, but it's actually a 1013, so I managed to get the little card out. 1013 obviously plays into the colour scheme, and it fully works, sort of. The inlet for the turn dispenser doesn't work, but it still fills up with water using the inlet that's used for the dryer. Fills up slowly, but it works. I've even managed to get a washer video of it. So guys, that is coming up. Right, this Bosch WFM 1430 is also actually up for sale just within the group only, but I haven't advertised it yet. You guys can watch it first. It fully works. It had two small issues. One issue has not been resolved. And second of all, actually three small issues. There's another little issue when it's on spin. Occasionally it makes this weird, horrific noise, but only occasionally, not on every spin cycle. The high water level button didn't work, but I actually fixed it. And finally, it leaks out. If you put towel load in, expect loads of water and suds to come out of your detergent. Yeah, that's why there's all these towels in this video. This picture here. Right, I've also got a Service Super 1000. Again, an auction find. It wasn't sold, but I saved it from the scrapyard. But it does. They couldn't get the door open, so that's why it wasn't sold working order. And when they did get the door open, you can get it open. They just didn't know how to. There. But when we got it on the spin, it's making this like buffeting noise. It's hitting something, and therefore it's making a burning smell basically on spin. Right. We've also got a Candy C1040, which is fully working, and I've been filming it. The only problem is now is that the top needs replacing. It's completely broken. The top. So when it's not in use, I turn off the electrocution by the mains, obviously to avoid electrocution. And I have this Zanussi DWS 919. I don't know if it fully works. It was sold not working, but when I went to pick up both the dishwasher and the Bosch Max WAA28, he said one of them worked, but he didn't know which one. Now the Bosch doesn't work, so presumably this might actually fully work. It's just old. Right, so as my daily runners, I have my Electrolux EWN14991 Time Manager. I have my Electrolux Ionade EDI 96150W. I have a AEG L86810W with an 1800 spin board built in, and an AEG T59840W heat pump tumble dryer, which is the very first heat pump tumble dryer on the UK and European markets from AEG Electrolux. I also have a Hotpoint WM75, which the button was gone, wasn't fully working. I've now borrowed that off Jacob's WM75P, which that has an error code on it, believe it or not. And then this, I have also a Hotpoint WMM75, which is fully working. Just a bit scratched on the fascia, to be honest. I have a Hotpoint WM65, which isn't fully working. The suspension's now been replaced, and the heater's been replaced, and they both work, but the bearings have got worse. Yeah, just started again. I also have a Zanussi FC1200W Compact and a Zanussi ZWC 1300 W Compact, and a very rare Zanussi TC180 Condenser Compact Tumble Dryer. which is a bit of a shock really, because it's not actually the same size, the same width anyway. So that's my collection. Yes, I actually have a Miele W487 WPS 1800 spin, 5 kilo obviously, weighs the load and adjusts the time and stuff like that. So I'm going to load size, it does fully work, I haven't done anything to it. It needs properly cleaning out, to be honest. Proper detergent build-up everywhere. And I have filmed it. I'm going around to editing it, and I still have the machine. Yeah, don't you worry, guys. I'm going to continue filming it, probably. But first off, we're going to edit those videos from nearly 2 years ago. The final thing I'm going to show you is a little project online. I bought these to buy and sell on to the public, but I'm more reluctant to actually just sell it to you guys. But I'm going to keep them for myself first, and then I'm going to sell them on. But who knows? I may even keep these myself yet. I've spent that much time cleaning this up. It's unreal. Now, the AEG L72600 washer, it's had quite a bit done to it. Nothing's been repaired. Nothing had to be repaired. But the build-up of dirt was horrific. Right, there was hair on the door glass, which had come into contact with the door seal and was creating the water to not basically escape. It is infected and turned the whole door seal mouldy. So after cleaning the door and cleaning the door seal, they were both put on. The door seal was so thick with grime and dirt that its own holes were all clogged up. So water was always being kept within that door seal. That dirt was also all the way around the drum itself, the outside of the drum. It was horrible. So after endless cleaning, and I've cleaned up everything on it, there's a spot of rust. It looks a lot better. I've decided to keep the stickers on them because they're not the usual 5 parts warranty thing. It actually says fuzzy logic and stuff like that, how advanced it was back then, which now is not. But also there was the matching AEG T37700 vented sensor dryer, which runs like a dream. It's unreal. Right, so final things I'm going to say is that overall, if you cancel those machines, and it's a very long video, I've had 112 machines, which consists of 67 washing machines, 29 dryers, 9 washer dryers, and 7 dishwashers. And to date, I've had 5,973 subscribers, which I think have actually gone up since I've been making this video in the last hour or so. 16 million collected views, 22 million collected minutes watched, and there were 3,555 videos. And that's not going to stop. As of from now, and as of from tomorrow, as of from the end of the week, videos will be consistent. I have been working very hard, still making videos, while still trying to come up with the idea for this 10-year anniversary video. Collecting all the photos for this video has taken me ages and hours on end. Plus to record this, and then to finally put it all together, and finally put the music in down below. I have spent endless hours on it, and thank God I've come to the end of this video. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to stop putting the endless hours in. So thank you to everybody who has come to this far of the video, and thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate it. Whichwasher will continue for as long as I live. Or as long as I tell you. I hope that I can keep this channel going for the next 20 years or so. And to bring you many, many, many different washing machines, different tumble dryers, and different dishwashers to you. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I have actually been making it. I have been Whichwasher, and I am out for this video.